going on, guys? It's another Real with Neal podcast today, and I'm so excited for my special guest here today. If this is your first time watching this, my name is Beneal.Smith. My goal with the Real with Neal podcast is to inform you of home buyer tips, also tips that help you increase your real estate business. And today I got my guy Walter Sims. Thank you, man, for coming, bro.
No
Thank
problem,
you,
man. Thanks
for
for having
coming
me.
today. My guy's a man of God. He's a minister. He's a husband, very active in the community. And just to get straight into it, for those who don't know, who is Walter Sims?
Who is Walter Sims, man? That's a good question. When I think of it, or the question myself, I can say I almost a jack of all trades that almost promisely doing everything. I can say, first of all, a man.
Yes.
So I can say that I am a man of God. I'm a minister or ordained minister. I am a husband. I'm a son. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a father, but I am a child. I am an advocate mentor.
Yeah.
I work with people in the church, and I also work with children in the community, in the schools.
Could you give us a snapshot of how it was for you growing up? Your story.
Okay. I'm gonna jump right into that one, man.
Okay.
Man, I can say I come out of a church home, Church of God in Christ home, man.
Yeah.
My mother was an evangelist. My daddy was a pastor, second pastor of a church. Now in the beginning as a child, I was raised with morals. I was raised with an understanding of shown how to do things. I can't say that I stuck with that growing up, because I kind of got influenced by the community, the neighborhood, the children that I hung around. They influenced me to get into a lot of other things that would later cause me to have to deal with a lot of stuff that I didn't want to have to deal with.
Yeah.
But I led a life in the streets, man. I sold drugs, carried guns, you name it, I did it. If it didn't happen, I didn't do it.
Wow.
So that was definitely who I was. But I can't say that I regret that life. I can say that I was taught, because I took it as a lesson, and I learned from it, and it became an experience for me to become the man I am now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So with that, with those mindsets, the different things that you went through with growing up, how did that convert over to a mindset of home ownership? Everything that you went through, because with me, I was just used to renting. I seen my mom rent. Only people that I really remember really having a house was like my grandparents.
Right.
But I just grew up with just making it or just trying to survive. After your upbringing, what translated to, okay, I'm gonna buy a home?
Well, when I met my wife, we was always dreamers. We was always visionaries. We wanted to do some extraordinary things in life, because we wanted to be able to enjoy ourselves. We enjoyed each other's company, so we wanted to be able to venture out and enjoy ourselves. After staying in a few apartments, and then we actually rented a couple of houses out.
Okay.
Me and her talked about being able to own our own home, because we knew that a lot of benefits came from owning our own home. We actually went to a home buyers class, and we was the first ones, because we were first time buyers. We earned a certificate. I think we had to spend a lot of time in that class. We earned a certificate, and I think it put like 25,000 toward a home for us. We end up not using that certificate, because we didn't understand that it had a limit on it, and that we had to make sure we use that certificate. So if you ever a first time home buyer, man, and you go to a first time home buyer class, you get a certificate, please use it in the time span that you have, to make sure that you get the advantage, because there are a lot of advantages to buying a home.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I can say that that since we've moved into our home, we 6 years in our home now.
Got
Since
it.
we moved into it, man, I've discovered a lot of things that comes with being able to buy a home. And I can tell you, for the most part, I think you would want to go that route.
And so, could you tell us one of those good things that you have learned about home ownership, and what is something that you would say, hey, this is something that you may need to be aware of, or this is something that people may not talk about that, hey, you may need to pay attention to?
One thing that I want to point out, most important thing, and I like to always put those good attributes ahead of it, but I always like to mention that some of the things that you're not aware of neither. The good
Right.
attributes about owning a own home is this home belongs to you, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? This is yours to do whatever you want with it. You know what I'm saying? After 5 years, if you want to, you can actually move out of your home. And that's what me and my wife plan on doing.
Yeah.
We're going to move out our home and rent it out, and we're going to pay the rest of it off through someone else being able to move into the home. But
Got it.
another good attribute about having a home is you got to talk to your mortgage company and find out all the good things, because buying a home has a lot of good things, and you'll never know about it unless you discover all those good things. Like you get equity out of home, and you
Yes.
can be able to take that equity and you can put it back into the home by investing and trying to renovate it, fix things up that look like they need some touching up or something like that. And then one of the things that you won't really understand about home, but you have to pay attention to your payments and everything,
Hmm.
that you have a principal, you have an interest, and you have an escrow. So that principal and that interest and that escrow you have to pay attention to, because more or less you're going to be paying more into that interest than you are into that principal. Now,
Mm.
if you pay more, sometimes you have to have a little money. If you have a little money set aside, make sure you put more money into your principal, because that calls you to pay your home off a lot faster. The interest
Mm.
goes toward the people that already paid for that home and you're paying them back. So you're
Right.
going to pay that interest on that home, and there's nothing wrong with that, but the interest is always going to be higher than the principal.
What would you tell someone that doesn't believe in home ownership, that I'm just going to continue to rent? What would you tell that person? I'm fine where I am. As long as I got a roof over my head, I don't need to buy a home. I'm fine with where I am.
Neil, man, I thought that way too. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt like, well, I didn't really need to buy no home, man. But when you think about it,
Yeah.
there's a lot of freedom that comes with that. It's a
Right.
lot of freedom. Once you get that home payoff, you can pay the home off really faster if you can come up with ways to pay a home off a lot faster than you would than normally a lot of people regularly pay a home off.
Yeah.
But man, being able to make those mortgage payments, and you can always go in and get a refinance on your home, and you can drop the
Mm.
payments down and you won't have to pay that much. And I think ours came under one of the FHA loans.
Okay.
So
Got it.
one of those FHA loans it works a lot better for you because it's kind of locked in at a fixed rate.
Yep.
So your mortgage payments won't never go up on you to the point where you can't be able to pay them. And one thing about mortgage companies, if you keep in contact with the people, your contact person at the mortgage company, you can always work something out to make sure that if you ever get behind in your payments or anything
Wow.
like that, man, they'll help you out. They just need to know what's going on with you, and they'll help you out. It's so much come to mind when I think about being able to have those benefits at hand. Man, I can't even think of them all at once.
Man, this is some real good game. And so, with your upbringing, what got you into, okay, I want to pour back into the community? How did that mindset, how
Man,
did you go from, okay, I grew up this way, being around this caliber of people, and then turn it around and say, hey, I want to actually invest into these same caliber of people? Where did that?
it started out with me and music, man. Music was one of the things that I could really express myself. I could really be who I wanted to be in the music, because
Okay.
as a child, man, nobody really listened to me. no, I never really fit into any kind of crowd that I was around. I always felt outcast, even in my own family. So I had to deal with a lot, and I felt. And one of my homeboys, man, God rest his soul, he passed away. He got me into music, and
Mm.
yeah, he got me into music. And when I was doing it, I started to go home, and I used to write songs to myself. It made me express myself, and I knew that it was a lot inside of me that I didn't even know that was there, that was
Okay.
coming out. So for me to be able to do that, I took the music to another level when I started actually going into a studio recording.
Yeah.
So then I started to go about, make a long story short, then I started to go and do shows. I wanted to do shows all over town. And some of the places, they wouldn't let me come in there and do those shows. So I was
Mm.
like, okay, so I got to thinking about, hey, why don't I rent a venue out, and then I'll go in there and perform. But I said, if I rent a venue out, why would I just be the only one going in there performing? So I started to contact a
Mm.
lot of other artists around the city, a lot of local artists that was kind of in the same place that I was in. So this is how the mentoring came about. So
Mm.
I would call these artists up, and then the word got out there. Artists from Conway, from Memphis, from Pine Bluff, from Atlanta, they was hearing about what I was doing. So everybody was calling me, was like, hey man, we want to get in on your shows. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I was locking the city up. Man, it was a celebrity artist in the city at the time at the Rare Room. I had a club downtown packed on a day that a celebrity artist was in town.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it was a tour out of California, man. A guy called I forgot his name. Get Money Stop Hating. He was a tour.
Okay.
He heard about me doing shows, and somebody told him, he contacted me. I had a world tour booked at a club down here in Little Rock. So from me doing that, I knew that the artist wasn't really familiar with a lot of stuff. Some of them never got on stage and performed. So I was kind of coaching them. So I wanted to start like a little artist development part. So that's where the mentoring come from.
Mm.
The artist development, being able to work with these artists. And I know that some of them was younger than me. And I tried to take this
Mm.
thing off into the school, but I didn't know how to use any instruments or anything like that. So as I was going into the school and I was working with kids, some of them didn't do music, some of them did. I noticed that all through the years, what stuck with it the most is that I was mending children, I was mentoring children. So it turned into okay, I set the music down because I felt like, I think I extended myself in it. I don't know. I think and sometimes I get to writing again, but
Wow.
the music got me into the mentoring. So now this is kind of like an extended
Wow.
version of what I do now. Now I have a mentoring program. It went from One Sims Entertainment to Sim Strategic Mentoring. Now the program
Wow.
is Sim Strategic Mentoring. I work with Pulaski County Juvenile Court Probation. I work with DHS. I work with 100 families, and I am set up in a local middle school right now. And I have a classroom in a local middle school where I do mentoring. We just did a workshop today on teaching children how to change tires and work around the cars, the
Wow.
life skills about working around a car. And we also got a summer program coming up.
Two-part question here. What's your goal with what you're doing, and how could people help?
My goal is, and I take that back. Um, my goal, it goes all the way back to when I was a child.
Okay.
When people ask me why do I mentor, I said I'm mentoring to who I was when I was a child. That
Mm.
young man, when I see children, I still see that young man. I see parts of that young man in these children right here. So I'm trying to be what I felt like I needed when I was a child, the things
Mm.
that I didn't get out of mentoring programs, and the talks that I felt like I needed, the support, the assistance, the encouragement, the inspiration. So I'm trying to be that right there. If anybody wants to support what it is I do, and
Yeah.
when I talk about, I have a real connection with these children. Um, I really, really sit down, sometimes on ones and sometimes group. But
Yeah.
if anybody want to support the program, please look up SIM Strategic Mentoring. So
Yeah.
if anybody wants to donate, now this is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So we are tax deductible. So that anybody that wants to be able to provide any kind of support to this organization, please do it online where you can use it as a tax write-off.
Wow. 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 This has really been good. So, a couple things I guess I say off the record here is just, if somebody is watching this video, watching this interview, and they're dealing with someone that they may have a child that, okay, my son may be in a similar situation as Mr. Sims or was in his past, what would be one of the first things that they could do to maybe guide or maybe help their child in the right direct to go into the right direction? Is there anything that they could be able to do?
One of the simplest things to approach a child first is very simple. Listen. Listen.
Mm.
Listen. And I mean, when I mean listen, I mean active listen to a child. And I'm not just saying
Wow.
hear what they're saying. Watch their expressions on their faces when they're talking. Understand the conversation behind the conversation, the things that they want to say, but they can't put into words. And they're trying to get you to comprehend or get you to understand what they're saying. Their body language, everything is telling you something. And because they're children and they don't know how to express the way that they want to express, watch what's going on with them. And they're telling you something that they can't put into words. So I say,
Wow.
listen. My motto or my mission statement is listen to understand, where you can be able to develop a way to help the child.
Is there anything that parents can be able to do for the betterment of their kids, as in home environment? Um, what could they be able to do to be able to help the child in the home? I know you said one of the key things is listening, but is
Mm-hmm.
there anything that in the home that parents can be able to do if their child is maybe struggling in any way with similarities similar to your past? Is there anything they could do in the home while they are listening?
I put a parent book together in my mentoring program. For my program, I have material for each person that's in the program, for the mentor, for the mentee, and for the parent. And
Got
I
it.
put that book together because I wanted parents to understand how important it was that they were a part of the mentoring process as well. So,
Mm,
and I like to keep a child in an environment where they are constantly and consistently getting fed into.
that's my
So
point.
so the parent, if you're at home, and I can tell you something that can really keep you out of my presence. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you take time out to spend it with your child, and don't spend it with your child as a parent. Spend it with them as a supportive friend.
Mm. And what does that actually look like?
Sometimes you got to take the parent hat off, and
Mm.
sometimes you got to be able, because children feel like parents are unapproachable, especially when it's something that they need to talk to them about real delicate. And
Mm.
most of the children in my program, and I get a lot of referral forms, and the first thing I read on there is the child needs somebody to talk to. And I'd be like, they have
Wow.
parents. They should have somebody to talk to. But when your parent is not approachable, when the parent is always with the parent hat on, when you're listening to what your child is saying and you're listening as a parent, you're going to respond as a parent. You got to understand that you have to respond in a supportive and assisting way. You have to get,
Mm.
and they'll never have to feel like they got to go to somebody else and talk to them. They'll always come to you.
Wow, 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 wow. This has been a very powerful and impactful interview. I hope that you took some home buyer tips away from this interview. Also, I hope that you are informed of different resources that are available in the community. And I'm going to have Mr. Sims link in the description where you can be able to go and support him financially with the summer program that's coming up. And we just giving God glory for what He's doing
Yes.
through him. And thank you again for coming. I
Thank you
really
for having
appreciate
me,
you, sir,
man.
for
For
real.
real.
Before we end, is there anything anything that you would like to say to the listeners, any prayers or any words of encouragement, anything that is on your heart before we end?
I I would say for the most part, I wouldn't even extend that thing to myself. I'll extend it to you. I commend you for
Mm,
what you do here because it takes a lot for you to listen to the people and to get the people out here where people can really hear what it is that they need to say because they have information. But I think you have a heart for people. And man, I commend you for what you do.
thank
I
you,
really do.
man.
And I appreciate the work you do, man. If you see this young man out here, please support what it is that he's doing. Cause I
Thank you,
might be out
man.
here doing community work, but he's doing something that is a lot more stronger out here that we're doing things together. But this
Yes.
young man is doing some things, man, that a lot of people need to get involved in. And
Mm.
I appreciate you, man. For real. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. And that's it for Real with Neal podcast. If you know anybody that may be looking to buy their first home or anyone that's looking to sell, I'm definitely here to help. And again, let's make sure that we go and support Mr. Sim on what he's doing with the youth in the community. Have a great day.